brief. Even though the legislature, I'm going to focus on state this time, not talking about feds, but even though the legislature, we have really good news. As you recall, back in January, the governor introduced the Jobs and Transportation Act, which is a very comprehensive transportation piece that had both the road side and the transit side. That became a different bill in the legislative process. Legislative leadership had a group negotiating and meeting for the last, 4 or 5 months. During that process, they decided to take out the payroll tax piece. The governor had recommended an increase authorization of the payroll tax for not just TriMet and LTD, but all the other transportation districts around the state. They took that out of the big bill. Became a separate measure, only applied to LTD and to TriMet, and that passed with votes to spare, I'm happy to report. And it was a bipartisan vote on the Senate side. So that is done, and the rest of the package, the transportation, the big part of the transportation bill, is also passed. I have to say, I think it's probably the most comprehensive, well-balanced transportation package that's ever gone through the state legislature, definitely. I won't give you all the details. If you're interested, I can certainly email you what's in that bill, but there's a lot of stuff in that bill. It raises about $300 million annually, I think over a 20-year period. It's got 37 different projects outlined for potential funding, several in our region, including the Chute Road Interchange, I-84 interchange at Troutdale. It has an urban trails program in it. It has Connect Oregon 3 in it, which we will surely apply for. It has flex funds in it, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Just got all kinds of things. Least cost planning pilot study, congestion pricing pilot study. It's a big piece of legislation with a lot of work that the Oregon Department of Transportation and the Oregon Transportation Commission is going to have to be involved in.
And when will revenue flow to the agency as a result of the transit piece?
The payroll tax authorization increase is very much modeled on what we did in 2003. In fact, it's identical. It takes the current authorization of 0.7% to 0.8%. Nothing happens until the board makes a finding that there's been an economic recovery sufficient to justify that.
This board?
Yes, exactly as we did in 2003. And again, it has to be implemented in small increments over a 10-year period. No increment to exceed 0.2%. So it's pretty much identical. It just changed the authorization limit. And for LTD and for TriMet only, not the rest of the state. Now, another piece that did not come to fruition out of the governor's package was on elderly and disabled transportation. There was a cigarette tax increase recommended, and that has really gone by the wayside as a result of the federal cigarette tax increase. There was a decision made that was so big, the 60 cents, that it really, you would have to increase it so much at the state level to really get anything out of it, that they shelved that tax vote and instead are looking at piecing together a variety of potential revenue sources. Do you recall the last legislative session asked that a study be done of the actual needs for elderly disabled transportation? PSU got that contract. They determined that we needed something akin to $15 million a biennium to keep up and to actually meet the growing need. That was really the genesis for what was in the governor's bill. But what they're doing now, and I guess there were negotiations, and Aaron Deese in the back, who works with me, has been working on that. I think there were negotiations last night, not sure what the outcome was, but they're looking at 3 or 4 different sources of revenue for elderly and disabled transportation. So we're feeling pretty good about the fact that something is going to happen for elderly and disabled transportation. We already in the big bill in House Bill 2001, there's a requirement that ODOT flex some of the federal transportation funds they receive for elderly and disabled transportation, so there's a little piece. The bill also increases the identification card, which maybe $250,000 for elderly and disabled will come out of that. So there's sort of a menu of things that they're going to try to piece together some increase in elderly and disabled transportation. So that's good. We'll know more today or tomorrow what's going to happen on that side. So
If you get it before our meeting next week, you let me know.
I mean, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes, absolutely. So that day, the day that two of our board members spent down in Salem on Transit Day at the Capitol was a great investment. Appreciate it.
Very exciting, no enthusiasm in your voice.
Calm down.
Well, you've been,
Because it's getting toward the end of June.
I remember what that's like, that's right.
well, you've been speaking, Sue noticed that there was a spider crawling down to your head,
Oh, you're
but
kidding.
The
it
wind
says
the
he's
other
back
way.
up in the city. And she
We're
was
gonna let you
wondering
know,
if we
right?
should tell you about
We were
it,
just
and I
about to
said,
interrupt
no.
you. But it turned around and crawled back up.
That's what we do up here.
You're listening. Okay, for your hair, I find a little dusty spot.
So, Olivia, just in terms of when the increase becomes actionable, I know that, what is the, we have to find, the first session is over, but we can find that anytime, I suppose. But what's the real measure of that? Is it 2 quarters of growth? Is it,
In the actual statute, there's only 2 measures, and that is income growth and employment growth. And I think George may remember that we really worked hard on trying to develop a measure in 2003. We consulted many economists before the bill passed to figure out what was the best way to measure that. It's very broad, but it is an increase in income growth and employment growth.
Technically, it doesn't use the word growth on it, just as
Oh, and
Was Salem supposed to be in that package as well?
yes. Actually, a number of properties were.
Yeah.
right. And frankly, there wasn't support among the Salem area representatives or senators or in other parts of the state for including other transportation districts or Salem.
But as I recall, the general manager and others probed the high-paying businesses, those that pay the majority of the payroll tax, and they were supportive of this.
Right.
Yes.
We had a terrific coalition. Actually, we had OBA, PBA, and lots of individual payers of the payroll tax, as well as labor. And when it came to testify in front of the legislature, we had a panel of both business, labor, and TriMet testifying. This great coalition.
Good work. Well done.